try to understand about light as a part of class 10 physics. Nature offers us so many things like sound, heat, light, and what are all these? These are all different forms of energies. These are all different forms of energy. So what is light? Light is also a form of energy. And what light does? Light does a very important thing that enables us to see the different things which are around us with the help of our eyes, due to which light is compared with knowledge. Light is compared with knowledge because it is enabling us to see the different things which are around us. Deepam Jyoti Parabrahmam Deepam Sarvatapomaham Deepena Sadhyate Sarvam, which means that knowledge makes everything possible. Knowledge is compared with light. So let us start our journey in understanding the knowledge of light. And I feel that light is very familiar to all of us because we know it from long. But we should be acquainted with the terminology that light tells us. When we throw a ball towards a wall, what happens? It hits the wall, and after hitting, it comes back. The same thing do happen in light. When light comes and hits a wall, what happens? After hitting, it bounces back. We know this, but the same thing in physics we called it as reflection. So we heard and we read about reflection in our lower classes. So what is reflection? Bouncing back of light ray after hitting a surface is called as reflection. So now if you consider this as a surface and the light ray coming and hitting the surface, if the light ray is hitting at a particular point, this point is called as point of incidence. Point of incidence. And what is this called as? Because this ray is called as incident ray. Incident ray. This is point of incidence and this is incident ray. And if we draw a normal which is making 90 degrees here, then that is called as a normal, an imaginary line which is making 90 degrees at the point of incidence to the plane is normal. And here it is making an angle. The incident ray is making an angle with the normal. This is called as angle of incidence. And the angle which a reflected ray, because the light is moving back. What is that moving back? Bouncing back of light called as? Bouncing back of light is called as reflection. So that's why this ray is named as reflected ray. This ray is named as reflected ray. The angle the reflected ray makes with the normal is called as angle of reflection. So we understood what is reflection. Bouncing back of light after hitting a surface is called as reflection. And when reflection is taking place, it follows certain laws. So what are the laws of reflection? This also we have studied in our lower classes. What is that? Here this is called as incident ray. This is called as point of incidence and reflected ray. All lie in a same plane. Incident ray, reflected ray, point of incidence, all of them lie in a same plane. This is called as the first law of reflection. And the second law of reflection, which says that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So these are the laws of reflection. Now some more important terminology which is used in this chapter should be understood first before we proceed into the chapter. So what are the important words that come in this chapter and what is the exact meaning? Let us try to understand now. Now the most important word that we need to understand are two important words which we need to understand. One is object and the other is image. So what is an object and what is an image? if light falls on anything, what happens? Some objects reflect back, means send back the light. So the objects which send back the light are said to be an object. Like, let us suppose if there is a candle. Now candle is giving light by itself. This is called as an object. Now if I am placing a marker here, light falls on it, and after light falling on it, it is sending the light back. So light is reflected back. So this is called as an object. So what is called as an object? Anything which produces light by itself or reflects light is called as an object. So object is something which produces light, like candle, sun, stars. These are all bodies, luminous bodies which produce light by themselves. And so many in our surroundings we are able to see different objects because they are reflecting light. So these are called as objects. And what is an image? When an object is there, when an object reflects light, light is coming and falling on it, and if it is reflecting, after reflecting at one point, we get the image of this object. So because of the object, when the reflected rays from an object comes and meets at a point, what is formed is called as an image. Now when we are trying to understand about image, there are two types of images. What are the two types of images? The two types of images are real and virtual images. So what is a real image and what is a virtual image? So real images are the images which can be caught on a screen. So real images are the images which can be caught on a screen. So what is the meaning of which can be caught on a screen? So when we watch movies, we will be seeing that the movie is being played on the screen. So somewhere behind the projector, the rays are coming and the particular movie is caught on a screen there. So that kind of images which can be caught on a screen are called as real images. Or the images which is coming from an object, reflected rays when they meet, they form an image. That kind of image is called as a real image. Then what is a virtual image? An image which cannot be caught on a screen. So a classical example for this is when you stand in front of a mirror, you are an object, but what you see inside the mirror is a image. And what image is it? That's a virtual image. That cannot be caught on a screen. For example, if you stand in front of a mirror and if you try to keep a screen in front of the mirror or behind the mirror, will you be able to see yourself on the screen? Or will you be able to find an image on the screen? No, you cannot catch anything. So that is called as a virtual image, and this point becomes a little more clear in our other classes. In the next classes, this virtual image becomes a little more clear to you. As of now, what's a real image? Real image is something which can be caught on a screen, and virtual image is something which cannot be caught on a screen. So virtual images cannot be caught on a screen. So these are the two important words which we need to understand, and in explaining image we should understand about the next two words that are erect and inverted. What is the meaning of erect and what is the meaning of inverted? So erect means if I place an object like this is an object, and after reflection, if the image is formed like this, means how the object is in the same way the image is also. This head is up here, here the head is also up, then this is called as an erect image. The same way, if the object is here, the word here inverted itself tells us what is the meaning of this. If the object is like this and if the image is like this, like here the head is up, here if the head is down, then that kind of image is called as an inverted image. A few more words which are more important are magnified and diminished. So what is the meaning of magnified and what is the meaning of diminished? So if you take an object like this and the size of the object and the size of the image is much more bigger than the size of the object. The size of the image is bigger than the size of the object, then we say that the object is magnified. And in contrast to this, if the object is like this and if the image is very small, Means when comparison with the object, if the image is small, we say that the image is diminished image. So these are the words which are very important for us to understand this particular chapter. So once again, let us see what are the words. Virtual and real. Real images can be caught on a screen. Virtual images cannot be caught on a screen. Erect and inverted. Erect means how the object is in the same way the image is there, that is erect. How the object is if it is inverted. In upside down it is inverted. Magnified. If the image is bigger than object, magnified. The image is smaller than the object, diminished. So let us try to understand. Let us try to meet in the next class with another concept.